is One Reflections. I am Reverend Priestess Ocean, and today I'm going to talk about the foundational principles of one of the foundations of my spiritual practice, which I like to call melanated metaphysics. And really, what melanated metaphysics is the understanding that you are an individualized piece of the all, that all is one and you really are just one aspect of God. And in order to arrive at that truth, and in order to operate in this world that we share together in that truth, we employ principles of African spirituality and concepts from major world religions and spiritual systems. But what we are practicing, in addition to Orisha Hoodoo, in addition to Christian principles and values left and imparted upon us by our ancestors, and Islamic influences and influences from New Orleans voodoo and Haitian voodoo, or Haitian Vodun, I should say, or no, Haitian voodoo and Vodun from West Africa, and all of the other things that influence our practice. What we are doing here today at this time together, we know is completely unique because we are unique. We are the descendants of the African diaspora. And because of that, our perspective and our interaction and understanding of the divine is different than any other people on the planet. We're going to be calling this aspect of our teaching melanated metaphysics. So within melanated metaphysics, we have 5 principles. And these 5 principles are actually intact from the Unity International Ministries doctrine. Number 1, God is everywhere and always present in every circumstance and is expressed through all life. Spirit exists within nature, within humanity, and within the unseen laws that govern reality. The divine intelligence flows through creation, and it can be constantly accessed by those who learn its patterns. And so that is why science never was off-putting to me. That's why I understood science and math to be languages of the universe and ways to speak to and understand God and unravel the mysteries. It never shook my faith or made me doubt the existence of God, but rather it enhanced it. It assured me that there was a higher intelligence at work. And it made me comfortable with the fact that I would have to work to tap in, to understand, and to experience the fullness of this divine intelligence. And that is work that I'm continuing to do and that I will do until I draw my last breath. The intelligence of the universe flows through the universe. The intelligence of the divine flows through the universe. Everything created by God has spirit. Now, this is an understanding that goes directly back to African spirituality. And I'm comfortable saying African spirituality, realizing that Africa is a continent. But I think I could go even further and say indigenous spirituality, because indigenous people all over the world, whether it be people in Mexico or indigenous people in Asia, but indigenous people have an understanding that we can access God through everything that is created by God. And not just sentient beings, but even mountains and rocks, rivers, of course, right? But every other species. The Buddha said that he sat under the Bodhi tree until he became the tree. That's how long it took him to understand that all is one. He continued to sit and observe and pray and meditate until he became the tree. That understanding that all is one, that the same force that animates me is the same force that animates you. I'll bring it even closer to home. In Orisha Hoodoo, we often say, I am not my sister's keeper, but I am my sister. I can only see you because I see myself in you. I can only recognize you because I recognize myself in you. I only have a name for what I experience with you because I've experienced it before. You get what I'm saying? So it's one force, one spark of creation, one animation at work in all things that we see. The second principle, human beings are innately good because we are connected to and we are an expression of God. We carry a unique spiritual inheritance that has been shaped through our ancestral experience and endurance. And that is specifically for us as descendants of the diaspora. It's hard to believe sometimes that people are innately good because we can be so ugly to each other, to the planet, to animals and nature. But if you believe that God is good, then you have to also believe that human beings have an infinite capacity for good, that we can be as good as our hearts desire. I just want to introduce the concepts. As descendants of the African diaspora, we embody spiritual memory, adaptive intelligence, and energetic resilience that has been forged through historical. This inheritance gives us capacity for healing work, spiritual leadership, and energetic transmutation. So essentially, not only are we good, and it's necessary for me to say that to you, it's necessary for you to understand that you are good, we are good, people are good. We're created in the image and likeness of God. And God, if God is good, then, as I said, we all have infinite capacity for good. But not only that, we are the survivors of the wickedest system that human history has ever recorded, the transatlantic slave trade. We're the descendants of the ones who survived. And the 16 principles of Ifa reminds us that we continue to be born through our bloodlines. We continue to come back through our bloodlines. And so if you believe that, then you know that every lifetime, every time we are here is a time to get it right, to do it better, and to be informed by previous lifetimes. And the easiest way to do that is to be led and guided by your Ori, but you must first remember that you have Ori. And then you must tap in to Ori and take care of Ori. And Ori is your divine head, an African spiritual system that our ancestors, a breadcrumb that they left for us to be able to make sense of all of this that we are experiencing now as descendants of the diaspora. We are uniquely situated to be able to overcome the adversity of the world because we overcame that, because children were ripped from mothers and mothers were ripped from fathers and husbands from wives and sisters from brothers and families torn apart and people's spirits and bodies broken. But the Lord, because we're here today trying to make sense of all of it. Okay, God is good. God is good and people are good, but that shit was bad. What does that mean? Why did that happen? What am I supposed to learn from that? What do I do with that? How do I heal these wounds that are stretching back 300 years, 4 generations? Family from Mississippi, how do you make peace with that deep South ancestry? And how do you make sense of that Yoruba ancestry that AfricanAncestry.com said you have? And how do you merge that with the Christianity that you were raised up in that taught you that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord? And so therefore you cannot talk to your ancestors. And if you're talking to any spirit, it's a familiar spirit and also therefore a demon. What do you do? How does all of this come together? And that's what this work is all about, trying to figure it out, following the breadcrumbs and allowing your Ori, the first Orisha that you have, to lead you and to guide you into understanding and to walk with you and to protect you from interference that caused you to doubt who you are and what you came here to do and what you will also do next. And we know that the next part is to interact with other people, because iron sharpens iron, and you are your sister's keeper. You are also your sister, and 100 other cliches that we can string together that tell us what the 16 principles of Ifa tell us, which is we are here not for a long time, but for a good time. And this is just the marketplace, and we came here to assist each other, which is co-signed by the second principle, the second foundation of Melanated Metaphysics, which tells us that God is good and therefore people are too. So now the third principle is our thoughts have creative power and influence events and determine our experiences. Our thoughts cause a chain of reactions in the physical world, whether those thoughts inspire you to speak, or those thoughts inspire you to do things with your hand, with your body. Regardless of what you are called to do, everything begins with a thought. Our thoughts are transformative. Our thoughts are creative. The mind directs energy. Belief directs outcomes. Focused thought, emotional regulation, and spiritual alignment influence experiences, opportunity, and manifestation. So everything begins in the mind. That's why Eshu is so important to us in Orisha Hoodoo. And where does Eshu sit in our body? Right here, the back of the neck, where the mind, or the head and the body connect, because the mind controls all of it. Just understand that our mind has the ability to create. Thoughts are things that become real. You need to learn to treat thoughts as living things, so that when they manifest in your life, you are setting yourself up for the best experience possible. Principle number 4 is prayer, meditation, and ancestral alignment strengthen spiritual authority and deepen our connection to God. Our spiritual practice develops clarity and protection and direction. Connection with spirit, with ancestors, and with divine law strengthens our intuition and increases the effectiveness of our spiritual work. It's necessary to practice these principles. You have to practice them if you want them to bear fruit in your life. Y'all have probably heard me say often that Ifa is not something that you read about. That's why up until 10 years ago and AI, there were very few books written about Ifa. It's an oral tradition. It's not something that you read about. Ifa is not something that you talk about. It's a closed tradition. The magic is behind the walls of initiation and attrition. You learn by doing. So our spiritual practice is what prepares us to do this work and to walk this walk and to experience God in the ways that help us become the best versions of ourselves. Prayer and meditation. Notice that the principle says that prayer and meditation, because what we should be having are discussions with God, not sessions where we just begging, God, please, Lord, can you please do it for me? Do it now, do it. Don't stop doing it until it's done, Lord, please. Right? It has to be a conversation, and a conversation has two parts. In a conversation, you speak and then you listen. And the person that you're talking to has an opportunity to share ideas with you. The same is true for the divine. You speak, you talk about what you need assistance with, then you be quiet and you listen. You speak and then you listen. Prayer and meditation, both are necessary. Metaphysics means nothing if it's not applied. And the fifth principle is spiritual knowledge becomes real through application. We apply our learning in all areas of our life through our thoughts, words, and actions. Our spiritual knowledge becomes real through our actions. Wisdom becomes active through our daily practice, through our ethical conduct, through disciplined thinking, through intentional action. Spiritual power grows through consistent use. So basically, principle number 5 in Melanated Metaphysics is walk your talk. Walk your talk. It's not enough to read about it. It's not enough to even write about it for those of us who are authors. Walk your talk. Let me see you looking like what you be talking about. Make me know it if it's true. So, just to recap, the 5 principles of Melanated Metaphysics. Number 1, God is everywhere and always present in every circumstance and exists in all life. Number 2, human beings are innately good because we are connected to God and we are individualized expressions of God. And because of this, we have the infinite capacity to be good because we know that God is good. Number 3, our thoughts have creative power to influence events and determine our experiences. Number 4, prayer, meditation, and ancestral alignment strengthen our spiritual authority and deepen our connection with God. 5, spiritual knowledge becomes real through application. I am Reverend Priestess Oshunfunke. Thank you for joining me.
Nobody talks about you, then you are nobody, then you are nobody. Remember.